age of big chain bookstores and independent bookstores a rare thing now.
I'm a believer in bookstores that you browse and find things that you didn't know existed in a store as a great selection.
Politics and Prose is really truly a very inimitable, unique place in the world.
There is a community here of people who shop here and who like to come here, and you run into people and say, "Oh yeah, I know you from, I've seen you at Politics and Prose."
So it's a great store. It's the best one I found in the area, really.
I came to be the manager of Politics and Prose through the classified ads. I had owned a bookstore before and had sold it, been out on the West Coast for about 4 years and came back. I was looking for work, and my partner, Carla, had put an ad in the paper for a manager since she didn't know the book business but wanted to open a bookstore.
I gathered a group of people together who were in the same predicament. There were a lot of out-of-work professionals then, and I had suggested that I might try to open a bookstore, and everyone was very enthusiastic about it. And then I went about investigating how to do that, and at that time, I was able to open the bookstore with about $90,000. So it probably would take 3 times that much, at least today, to do something like that.
At the beginning it was tough because you have to remember that for 2 or 3 years you're going to lose money when you open a new business. And so the only way that we could deal with it was by paying ourselves very little.
And in the beginning of next week we'll go over the quotes with you. Fantastic. Some of you will find that.
When we opened, one of the reasons that people thought we were crazy is because there were other bookstores that were closing.
Are you being helped? Yes, thank you.
The Washington area was dominated by the chain of Crown Books, which discounted deeply. There were other independents in the area, but some of them were knocked out by Crown Books.
Well, most people didn't think we had a chance in hell of making it. They came into the store and they said, "How can you compete with Crown Books?" And we said, "Well, we're a different kind of store."
As an independent bookstore, everything that happens here is a result of what we as individuals want and what we as a store want to happen. Everything from the books we carry to the books that we maybe feature on display to the authors that we bring in. So everything is driven from, again, the interest of the staff here, and because of that, maybe it gives the store a bit more character. We're doing more than just moving product, I would say.
Bigliani and the Shooting Star.
Mm-hmm. You can just tell the whole atmosphere of this store is different than from, say, a major chain. It's more of a community space than a chain, and it seems to be like there is more of a personal investment in everybody because there's not a corporate overlord. It's the 2 women in the back.
Carla loves any book that has demonstrating in it. That's true. One of the things that we have done over the 21 plus years that we've been in business is we've paid attention to our business. We haven't paid much attention to Borders, Barnes & Noble, Amazon when they started up. If you worry all the time about your competition and spend all your time looking at your competition, you're not taking care of your own business, and that's what we've been doing.
What is the name of that mystery?
In the case of Crown Books, they put themselves out of business by just the family fighting so much that there was nobody was paying attention to the store.
We don't do what a corporate store would do, which is to take as much money off the top. We're not trying to show our investors that we can make 10 or 12% a year on our investment. We're trying to build an institution and a place that we enjoy working. It's a shopping experience. It's not just grabbing a book off the shelf. It feels to people as though it belongs to them. I don't think most people feel that way about chain stores.
And he loves detail. He likes detail.
I like
Right. You get a warm feeling when you walk into the place of people who love books.
and wonderful books, and there's always an excitement. If you need a card, you're going to find a better greeting card here than any place else in the city. If you want a sandwich, you might even find a better one here. And talks, book readings, authors, local people, the owners, the staff, make it all a unique and absolutely fantastic experience, especially in a big city where people run around one by ones.
I like this store because it has a better collection of books, and because it's an independent store, I do like to patronize them. But in addition, the speakers are very fine. The classes, like Chris Griffin's Irish classes and the Jane Austen I'm taking now, are just marvelous, and I don't have to go down to the Smithsonian to do that.
Well, you've been to them, right?
Yeah.
We have a lot of book groups. We have activities for children. We have a story hour every Monday morning. We put in the coffee house where people could meet and talk. We have 3 knitting groups that meet here. And we have lots of classes that meet here too. So every day you'll find 2 or 3 things going on in the store.
We have speakers here every night and sometimes twice, like today, and the authors love to come here and the audience loves it. It's like a seminar. The connection between the audience and the writer is just palpable, and there's just such a current that runs through the whole event that's very exciting.
We intended to do author talks from the very first day that we were open. The only problem was that we were such a non-entity that no authors had ever heard of us, so we had to really kind of beg for authors to come. And they did, slowly. As it gathered momentum, we got more and more authors all the time. Now we have authors every single evening, and we turn down about 3 or 4 authors for each one that we accept.
We're lucky that C-SPAN carries usually 1 talk a week here, and sometimes more than that, and so we get people visiting from Cleveland and from Des Moines and from Las Vegas, and they say they came because they saw us on C-SPAN and they wanted to visit the store. Then that's very nice.
After a certain amount of time of doing author events, we've gotten the reputation for doing the events efficiently, that we're able to produce a good crowd. So for all authors, an appearance at Politics and Prose means more than an appearance at, say, Barnes & Noble in Bethesda.
Everywhere I've gone, people have been like, oh, so I hear you're at Politics and Prose. So it definitely has a name that carries, and I'll be keeping that in mind.
Stealth knitting.
I wanted to have a place where authors and book readers could meet, and I certainly feel as though we accomplished that. I wanted to have a store where the best books were represented, and we were so lucky because we didn't have to include the kind of commercial stuff that dominates in the chains.
My proudest moment was when Publishers Weekly named us the Bookseller of the Year in 1999.
And that was a real affirmation. It felt really wonderful to be selected as Bookseller of the Year, and it made us feel like we'd finally arrived.
Every other independent bookstore in Washington has gone by the wayside, and if you go to Borders or any other big-time bookstore, you don't find the range and you don't find the ability of customer service. Moreover, you don't really find the friendliness and continuity as you have here.
There's just so much here. It's not just a bookstore. Whether it's a wonderful cup of coffee or hearing a great speaker, it's a good place to be.